Professor Zahari Zahariev, Investig'Action is interviewing today. You came in Brussels, invited by Tatiana Ždanoka for a convention about Russian and European East-West relations. You are a researcher, you live in Bulgaria. How would you describe the situation of the ordinary people in your country now?
Well, it's a very complicated question because the situation is a little bit better probably compared to the last 10 years in the 90s. But at the same time, Bulgaria is at the last place in Europe on the basis of the social factors and on the basis of the social security and economic development.
Can you give some facts?
Well, speaking about the economic, let me give some examples about the agriculture, because Bulgaria was very good known before the changes with the Bulgarian agricultural system. Today, for example, we have around the half by the production of eggs. It's a small example, but speaking then about meat production. The meat production in Bulgaria today is on the level of 40% of this before the changes.
Why?
Well, because there were some people in Bulgaria, they are gone in the policy with the motto that we must destroy the communism, but the basis of the communism are the cooperatives. And they started destroying the cooperatives. They started to destroy not the communist cooperatives, the cooperation in Bulgaria. Just forgetting that the first cooperatives in Bulgaria started at the end of the 19th century.
Before socialism.
Yeah, before the socialism. I can give several examples also by vegetable production. Bulgaria, for example, was at the second place in the world by tomato production, and was, after Italy, the biggest exporter in Europe. Today, we are importing around 60% from the tomatoes in our market from Turkey, from Macedonia, and from Greece.
And who is profiting from this situation?
Well, probably there are some people, because, well, the split in the Bulgarian society is going to be bigger and bigger, but it's not, let me say, priority tendency only in Bulgaria, but we have the same several situation in the different countries also in the west of Europe.
You mean people importing are getting richer and the other people cannot get food? Or?
No, there is no policy of the state, because starting with the cooperative movement, destroying the cooperative movement, we just started with one of the elements of the state policy and the national state. And I can say that today the national state in Bulgaria, the government of Bulgaria, is not in the position to fulfill their, let me say, their targets by the Bulgarian constitution. And I can give some example about the planning system. You know that the planning system came from the Soviet Union before the Second World War. And it was, well, announced as a very good possibility to create the development of the industry, of the society in general, also from the Western countries. Now, today, we have the planning system, for example, in Germany. We have the planning system in France, probably in all Western European countries, but not the same in Eastern Europe. There is no planning, for example, in Bulgaria.
Is it for that reason difficult for the people to live, to find a job, to have a good
Oh, yes, of
level?
course. Yes, of course, because, well, one of the biggest targets and function of the state is just to be the regulator of the social interests. That means, of course, to think about the ordinary people, to think about the jobs for these people, to think about the social security system, about the welfare of the society.
More difficult for the people to live now?
Yes, of course, and I can give a concrete example that the population in Bulgaria before the changes was 9 million Bulgarians. Today, we have officially in Bulgaria around 7.1 million people. What's happened with the others?
Where are they gone?
Mostly they gone abroad. Now we have the Bulgarian people all over the world. We have more than 500,000 Bulgarians today in the United States. But we have also a very big colonies of Bulgarians in Spain, Italy, Germany, France. And the most dangerous in this process is that we are speaking about young people, about good educated people, because you know that it's not so easy to find a good job also in the West. And that means we have a real process of brain outputting from the east to the west, from Bulgaria to the west. I remember how actual was this process, let me say 40, 50 years ago, from the Western Europe to the States. Now we have the same process, but from the Eastern Europe. First of all, I'm speaking about Bulgaria because the socio-economical situation in Czech Republic, Slovakia is much more better compared to Bulgaria, to the West.
You probably heard of a very important European official, Bolkestein, who decided that people from Romania, Poland, your country, should come here, take the jobs, be very low paid, and this is bad for the people working here and bad for your country, as you tell me. So what do you think about European policy?
You see, I think it's a stupid policy because, first of all, I agree with you that mostly the Bulgarians that are going well to the Western countries, they are ready to be underestimated, especially not only by the money they will receive, but also by their position.
Low
in
paid,
the different,
no trade unions.
Of course. And secondly, there is also another problem that one of the reasons for the deep crisis inside the European Union today is the socio-economical factor. And this policy is just against, the interests of the European Union to have the real unity and to have, let me say, not only a freedom, but also a peace, a social peace inside this construction. So
you believe this policy of the Western multinationals is no good for the West and the East?
You see, it's not only not good, it's at the same time very, very dangerous. Very dangerous because this policy is destroying, the whole integration vision, all ideas about Europe as a united body, about Europe as, let me say, one of the pioneers in the world of the 21st century. And of course, I'm speaking about Bulgaria, but we can give several examples also about many other Eastern European countries. We can speak about the Polish people, we can speak about the
Ukraine,
Slovaks,
Romania.
Ukrainian. Yes, of course.
And so on.
That's all. And also, this policy, I think, is very dangerous because is creating, in the reality, a new wall, not between the European Union and the other world, not only splitting Europe as a continent, as a civilizational center, but at the same time creating a different kind of new laws inside the European Union.
Mm-hmm. I understand. My final question is, what is your hope, what is your solution for a better Bulgaria, a better world?
Well, it's a very difficult question because you see, we are in the etap of civilizational changes in our world. We can say that all these changes that are not only by this so-called big policy, but at the same time in the daily life of every one of us, but also by the mentality of the people today. That means that on that basis you must think about new answers to the new challenges in front of us. They are coming daily in front of us.
Solidarity, not greed.
Solidarity, of course. Solidarity, peace, of course. And it's very also important to understood that we are people, first of all, and we are in the same boat.
Okay, thank you. This was Professor Zahariev from Bulgaria, and it shows that indeed this was not said in the media, so always check on the other side. Thank you.
Thank you.